Hi, welcome to my very first video cast. My name is Dorothy, and I am the Mommy Knitter. Um, I've watched a few video casts for a while and decided it was time to try my hand at it, mostly because I love knitting. I love talking about knitting. I love showing off my knitting. I don't have a lot of knitting friends who live around me who are really interested in talking about my knitting nearly as much as I am. And while my husband is very understanding and will listen, he kind of just, he doesn't get it. So I thought I'd throw my stuff out there to maybe some other knitters who might want to show off their own knitting or talk about what they're doing or be remotely interested in what I have to say. So we'll jump right in with what's on the needles. I was kind of surprised when I was doing my show notes that I only had two things on the needles. I feel like usually I have at least three, but right now it's two. So the first thing is the Taiga Cowichan sweater by Svetlana Volkova. Um, and I'm almost to the end. I've knit the pockets. These are the pockets. And then I'm working my way through the body of the sweater and will eventually join those with these stitches to form the pockets. The yarn is Cascade 220 Echo, and the purple is Echo Plus. It's knit on size 10s, except for the color work is 10 and a half. Um, Most people went up a size of needles for the color work. So the pattern is knit flat. You can see I did not. I added these stitches to steek. So a few people on Ravelry said, like, who wants to knit color work flat and who does want to knit color work flat? And so they just added the steek. So I did the same. And conveniently, I am taking a steeking class at the Woolpack Yarn Shop in Acton, Massachusetts on Monday. So hopefully at least the body of the sweater will be finished knitting. Although I think I could steek it now. Like I don't think I really have to be finished. I think I would just prefer to be finished. Um, and then it's a short sleeve um, cardigan. So I still have to figure out the pattern calls for toggle closures. I should have brought my note to show you the picture of the pattern. I'm not so much into toggles, so I'm hoping. Oh, look, it's no, there. I'm not so much into toggles, so I might do like those Norwegian clasps. I don't know. I have to get to Joann's to see what they have. If you're in the Boston area looking for buttons, you might have heard of the Windsor Button Shop. It's closing. I'm not sure when, but pretty soon I think. So if you want to visit there or you desperately need buttons and they have a ton of buttons, you should get to downtown Boston sooner rather than later. And this sweater is hanging out in my brand new project bag that I made myself for Valentine's Day. I'm not much of a sewer. I've had the machine for a few years. Really, like I've done curtains, I've done a few bags here and there, but I'm trying to sew more. So this Valentine fabric was in the remnant bin at Joann's. The lining was on sale. I made this yesterday. I'm very proud. It has a zipper and a handle, and I managed to make it without calling my mom for know-how advice. So it's not nearly as nice as like the Pitaloop bags or the expensive ones that you can buy online. I'm the only one who uses it, so it's fine. Next on the needles, I have Hermione's Everyday Socks. And these are by Erica Luder, I think you say her name. And the yarn is Creature Comforts. She has an Etsy shop. So let me give you a close-up of the pattern. So it's just knits with differently spaced pearls, but it really, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but I think it makes the yarn really pop. All the different colors. It's more jewel toned than it's showing up on the monitor. And the yarn is part of Creature Comforts doing a Bardic Circle knit along where she bases her colorways on Shakespearean plays. This one is from A Winter's Tale and it's called Secrets Kept. It's really pretty. It's got lots of blue, lots of purples with some blue. And like I said, I don't feel like you're getting accurate. It looks more blue here, but it's more purple. Kind of down here is, I think, this side, the truer color. And I think it was like 400 yards, 420 yards. Very reasonably priced. The next colorway for the same play is called Exit, Pursued by a Bear, which is one of the stage directions in A Winter's Tale. And I can hardly wait for that to come, just for the name. I don't even care what the yarn looks like. I'm so thrilled to own yarn called Exit, Pursued by a Bear. So that's all I have on the needles right now, but for Christmas, oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot to say, these are on size 1s. I think 1.25 millimeter is my Knit Picks Harmony sock needles. My husband bought me the Knit Picks, losing a stitch, the Knit Picks set for Christmas, and this is the first time I'm getting to use these. My awesome husband also for Christmas bought me a spinning wheel. It was a huge surprise. I had no idea. He knew I wanted one. We had talked a little bit about what kind I would want. I really had no expectation that I was getting one for Christmas. I was completely shocked when I opened up an Ashford Traveler. And so yesterday I finished spinning the singles. This. Let's see if you can. It's from Never Enough Time on Etsy. It's Palworth silk, and it's in the colorway Winter's Chill, which is beautiful blues and whites. It's getting kind of washed out. There's more white, I think. Like there's a huge, this whole section is white. I'm sorry, I've never done this before, so I don't really know how the monitor is going to respond to the colors. But here's the other side. Never Enough Time. And they are getting more fiber. They have a lot of yarn, but slowly they're getting more fiber in. I did have problems, this one. You can see it's like really overspun. Let's see. Especially, and you can see over here, there's all these overspun bits. Especially at the end. Right at the end of the bobbin, I was having an issue. I think that the break band was too tight, was too loose, so the yarn was spinning more than it should have before getting pulled onto the bobbin. This is like the second thing I've spun, really. The third, if you count the practice fiber that came with the wheel, which I did very little of. So, like, I think I'm doing okay. This is the first bobbin. No, it's not a bad yarn. It is a little fuzzy. Let's look at the second bobbin and see how yeah, I definitely improved. You can see it's much more consistent. Let's see. I don't know how much that helps, but you can kind of see that it's fairly consistent, at least towards the end of this bobbin. I'm pleased. I'm excited to fly it. Hopefully I'll get to do that today. If not today, then tomorrow. And then after that, I got a loop bat, a loop bump, a bullseye bump in the mail. So that will be the next thing on my wheel. Okay, so finished objects. I have 2 finished objects to show you. Well, almost finished objects. One of them, I thought the ends were woven in until I took it out of the bag. They were not woven in. So I have this christening cap. See it? It's got a little seed stitch border and ties. Sorry about the loose ends. And then at the back, there's a little ribbing. Can you see that? And so it sits. I've made a few of these caps. I've made at least 1, if not 2, for my youngest daughter when she was a baby, and I've made a couple of gifts. I just love it. And actually, this is the second one of these I've done recently just like this. The yarn is Cascade 220 Superwash Sport. And the pattern is by Claire Montgomery. It's from the Easy Baby Knits book. And I'm sorry, it's just called Baby Bonnet. I love this book. I use it a lot, especially for the hats and the booties. The booties are booties that actually stay on feet, which, here, let me see it. I make these booties a lot, minus the pom-pom, for gifts. I find that babies don't kick them off, and they stay on, and you don't have to tie anything. They're just like little socks. And they're garter stitched. They're super easy to make. So anyways, I have 2 of these done. My best friend had triplets in October. Sorry, I'm new at this. I'll get it, guys, if you'll just give me time to figure it out. So my best friend had triplets in October. So these are for the boys, just these plain caps. And then I need to do a third one for the little girl. I think it'll be a feather and fan based pattern. I haven't, there's a bunch out there. I just have to decide which one. And I will use the 220 Superwash Sport again. Okay, and then my other finished object I finished on Saturday in time to wear to church on Sunday. Our church is pretty casual. I wear jeans a lot. These socks. So the yarn, this is by Lollipop Yarns. They do um, self-striping yarns. She has an Etsy shop that she updates on Sundays at 7, and there are days where she is sold out by 7:06 or earlier. So it's Lollipop Yarn. You can see the Etsy shop. And then this is, let's see, 5 rows of Fireside. That's this one right here. 3 rows of Cherry, 4 rows Black Diamond, 5 rows of Hot Cocoa, 3 rows of Wine, and 4 rows of Terrain Park. She has a lot of brighter colored socks, which is kind of what I wanted, but like I said, she sells out really fast, and the day I caught the update, this is what I managed to snag. They are both done, and they look like they line up. They're off by 1 row. 1 row on the toe is a different color, and I think it's 2 rows at the heel, maybe 3. They're pretty close to matching almost perfectly. I use Laura Linneman's Afterthought heel pattern over 56 stitches on a size 2. Most of my socks I knit on a size 2. I knit them from the cuff down using a 9-inch size 2 circular needle. That's my preferred way to do socks. I'm not anti other ways. I've just never had a reason to try them yet. I'm sure someday there'll be some sock pattern that just compels me to do toe up, but so far I haven't had the need. Yeah, so that's really, I feel like I should have a mom component to this, and I didn't really think about that. I do have 4 kids from ages 12 down to 3, although we have 3 birthdays next month, so they're almost 13 to 4. And they keep me pretty busy. So I guess my tip for the day, since I went grocery shopping, if you go to the grocery store and you get paper bags, if you cut off the bottom and cut up the side, it's doodle paper. You don't have to waste computer paper for kids to color, cut stuff out, or make stuff. We've been using brown paper bags for years. So that's my helpful tip for the day. And I guess I should talk about what I'm wearing. I forgot. This is my Viking cable hoodie. It's the Central Park hoodie pattern, but with the Viking cables. I made this for Rhinebeck. My mom and I got to go to Rhinebeck this fall, which was awesome. I started it right after Christmas last year. It was done in time to go to Rhinebeck. But I did all the knitting. My mom did all the hard part. She did all the seaming and put in a zipper for me. You know, the royal grain ribbon. She does all the hard work for me. So hopefully you'll tune in again. Hopefully I'll do this again. We'll see what the reaction is, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, have a great week and happy knitting.